Most people think AI is a tool. It's not. It's labor. And that misunderstanding is costing people thousands of hours every single year. Because if you're still opening Claude to ask random questions, you're using one of the most powerful pieces of software ever built, like a search engine. That's like buying a Ferrari and driving it in first gear. The people making serious money with AI aren't chatting with Claude. They're hiring it. They've turned AI into researchers, analysts, developers, operators, entire departments. I run an AI-driven venture studio, and today, AI handles work that would have consumed dozens of hours every week. Research, documentation, reporting, content production, workflow execution, entire business processes. The scary part? Most people still have no idea this is possible. So in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you the 20% of Claude that delivers 80% of the results. No fluff, no prompt engineering rabbit holes, just leverage. Because once you see this, you will never use AI the same way again. The biggest mistake people make with AI is forcing it to start from zero, every single time. Imagine hiring an employee, and every morning you had to explain your business again. Your clients, your products, your tone, your workflows. It would be ridiculous. Yet that's exactly how most people use AI. Projects completely change this, because projects give Claude context. Upload your SOPs, meeting notes, research, internal documents, client information. Now Claude stops guessing and starts operating with memory. This is the moment Claude stops feeling like a chatbot and starts feeling like a chief of staff. Instead of saying, "Help me write this," you can now say, "Prepare this week's client briefing," and it already understands your company, your tone, your priorities. This single shift can save hours every week, because context is leverage. And here's something most people miss. Claude is only as powerful as the instructions you give it. Think of prompts as management instructions for digital employees. The better your instructions, the better your outcomes. That's exactly why I created my AI operating system playbook. It's essentially a library of proven instruction frameworks that I personally use across research, writing, strategy, outreach, and operations. I'll mention it again later, but keep that idea in mind, because the future belongs to people who know how to direct intelligence, not just use it. Most people use AI to generate words. Power users use AI to generate systems. This is where things become dangerous, because Claude can now build trackers, dashboards, calculators, interactive tools, mini applications, in minutes. Think about that. A few years ago, building software required developers. Today, you can explain an idea in English and watch software appear. The barrier to execution is collapsing. You no longer need permission. You no longer need a technical team. You need clarity. And that's a massive shift. Because in the AI era, the people who move fastest win. Pair this with connectors, and Claude can pull information from your documents, emails, and workflows. Suddenly, you're not using software anymore. You're assembling systems. This is where AI stops being an assistant and starts becoming infrastructure. This is where things become slightly terrifying. Because Claude no longer just thinks, it acts. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, and your reports are already prepared, your research completed, your notes summarized, your workflows organized, before you've even touched your laptop. This is the shift from worker to architect. You stop doing tasks and start designing systems that do tasks. That's leverage. Because leverage isn't working harder. Leverage is multiplying output without multiplying effort. This is why tiny teams are becoming absurdly powerful. One person with AI systems can increasingly compete with companies that once required entire departments. The future company may not have 10 employees. It may have one operator and 10 AI workers. That future is arriving much faster than most people realize. People think AI coding is about writing code. It isn't. It's about communicating logic. Software is becoming conversational. If you can explain the workflow, you can increasingly build it. That is an extraordinary shift. Because for decades, software creation was gated by technical knowledge. Now the gate is moving. The new skill isn't memorizing syntax. It's thinking clearly, explaining systems, communicating outcomes. The people who thrive in the next decade may not be the best programmers. They may be the best orchestrators. The people who know how to direct intelligence, human and artificial. And this is why prompts matter, because prompts are rapidly becoming the management language of AI. The quality of what you build increasingly depends on the quality of your instructions. That's why I've spent hundreds of hours building reusable frameworks for research, writing, strategy, outreach, and workflow automation. If you want the exact prompts I use inside my own business, they're all inside my AI operating system playbook linked below. Over 100 prompts, all battle-tested. But here's the mistake people make after watching videos like this. They try to implement everything. Don't. Pick one thing, one workflow, one system. Save yourself 5 hours, then 10, then 20. Because once your computer starts working while you're drinking coffee, you can't go back. Because eventually, you realize something. The real value of AI isn't productivity, it's freedom. Freedom from repetitive work, freedom from bottlenecks, freedom to focus on higher leverage decisions. And that leads to the real question. If AI can increasingly do the work, what are you going to build? Because the next decade won't simply reward people who use AI. It will reward people who know how to orchestrate it. If you want the exact frameworks I use to turn Claude into researchers, strategists, content teams, and operators, I've documented everything inside my AI operating system playbook. Over 100 prompts covering research, writing, outreach, strategy, and workflow automation. You'll find it linked in the description. And if you're serious about learning how to build leverage with AI, subscribe to @EvolveAIS. Because over the next few years, the biggest divide in business won't be capital. It will be between people who know how to build systems with AI and people who don't. Let's build the future.